Lowe's knows that more projects mean more tools. For a limited time, new and existing MyLowe's Rewards credit card members can get 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more, in-store and online. Don't wait to get the things you need. Get special financing today. Lowe's. We help. You save. Now through August 27th, choose 12-month special financing on purchases of $299 or more. Offer subject to credit approval and cannot be combined. Minimum monthly payments required. See store or Lowe's.com for details.
Don't ask me to talk. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show, Don't Ask Me to Talk, hosted by me, Stacy Heller,
And me, Eric Ryder.
There you go. So, hey, on every episode, we talk about whatever random holidays, topics, or ideas come to mind. It's sort of like pulling a topic from a fishbowl, and then we follow the thread until we've completely unraveled it or we become unraveled. I don't know.
That's usually the case.
It's usually the case, right? It's like that expression about like drive it until the wheels fall off.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what we do.
We've never met a tangent that we didn't like.
Yeah. What's interesting is that I'm the one with the ADHD. But I'm like
diagnosed.
That's true. Good point. See, look, we're already doing it. But good news, if you are focused and you enjoy what you're hearing right now, then you can actually find past episodes of the show wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also throw another topic into the fishbowl. We are totally open to hearing what you have to say. So you can call and leave a voicemail, or you can text. The number is 475-999-2726.
That's right. Or iSky 99 grams.
I was waiting. You did not disappoint. We still haven't nailed it. We need to get enough followers and listeners and people to comment and like, et cetera, so that we can afford a real number.
Right.
It's good to have goals. So we need to make sure that like our moms are following.
Well, I found out that Arbor is one of the alternates that we could use. So iSky 99 Arbor. So I was like frantically Googling or Binging, whichever you prefer, to find out when Arbor Day was, because I couldn't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while since we had
April,
the big Arbor Day parade. Yeah.
Wait, were there Arbor Day parades?
No, I'm joking.
It's like, wait a minute.
It's one of those holidays that are kind of like our ridiculous high holidays, in that people are aware of it, but we don't really do much to support it or to celebrate it. You don't actually get a day off of work to plant trees.
No.
But it is Friday, April 26th, so we've passed it already.
Right. But hey, mark your calendars.
Yeah, for next year. This is probably already on your calendar.
Technically.
Yeah, technically. But yeah, look at the fine print on your calendar, I guess.
Maybe we can have like a movement. Apparently, you can, not to be a Debbie Downer, but when you die, you can have your ashes mixed in and you can plant a tree.
Yeah.
So like,
I think that's a good thing.
That's a good thing. So like, hey.
Compost yourself.
Right. Wait until Arbor Day next year. The ashes will hold.
There you go. Yes, they will.
They don't go bad.
Good point.
So speaking of holidays, we're here in May. And, okay, a little backstory on this really fun fact that I'm going to share with you. So I have another podcast that I do called Stacy Connects. And on it, I have this ongoing discussion about all of my various inventions that I have. My most infamous one, of course, being the rain barrel concept to alleviate forest fires and wildfires in remote areas. Right. Now, Eric and my brother are both regular eye rollers of this. And
I think we got off on the wrong foot on this one. While I think that, this is potentially a good idea, there are some issues that I immediately saw with it that maybe need to be worked out. I'm not saying
Yes.
this could never work. I'm just saying there are some concerns that come to mind when thinking about this as a solution.
Fair. And you know what? This is the perfect time to get into this in May because it is both National Wildfire Awareness Month and National Inventors Month.
Oh, hey, I like it.
Right? So we put them in a room together.
Right.
With me. And I pitch my idea, and the inventors come up with some variation of said idea that will actually work. And the wildfire people name me like Miss Wildfire, like 2024, or like in perpetuity.
I think you could be a good mascot for Wildfire.
I was a redhead before it went
That's
gray.
what I'm thinking, yeah.
Right? So anyway, I'm just saying that is a kind of some like a perfect combination of holidays for May. But there are other May holidays that I wanted to bring up, like National Piercing Day. Hey, Eric, do you have any piercings that I don't know about?
No. I mean, aside from the piercings that I get every time I'm trying to do yard work and handling the blackberry vines, which over the weekend, I unfortunately tried to clear out some blackberry vines from the backyard. I ended up like this morning going, oh, why are my hands so sore? And then it's like, oh, yeah, yesterday, dummy, you were out
manhandling blackberries.
Yeah.
Like they're so tasty and they're so like they just get into everything and they spread like wildfire. See what I did there?
And they often can be fuel for wildfire.
Totally.
Yeah.
And have they figured out a way to make a seedless watermelon? Have they figured out a way to make a prickerless,
thornless blackberry?
Yeah. Like, come on, people, let's use your powers for good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but
okay.
the problem is that I believe it's the Himalayan blackberry is an invasive species. And, somebody brought it over here and it just grows like wildfire.
I know. Now
here
we can't
in the
stop
Pacific
saying it.
Northwest. Yeah, they're everywhere. But, so you're supposed to get rid of them. But that's the thing. The blackberries are probably the most delicious berry, but also the most obnoxious plant.
Yeah. And the bears love them.
Yeah.
So you got to watch out. All right. I was just curious. My son has a nose piercing. And when he told me that he was going to get this, all I could think about was Ferdinand the Bull, the children's story. And like, I'm so that mother that I was like, oh my gosh, why are you doing that? And I was expecting like a big ring to be sticking out of his nose.
Right.
And so then I tried to manipulate the story and I was like, really, the people that have the piercings in their nose are like sensitive types that are like, very often trying to like make their own way in the world but they can be misunderstood. Anyway, it was all for naught. The nose piercing that he got, actually it's inverted, so the ring is on the inside and it's the ends that come out and he can hide it. But either way, I'm like, oh, this is the stuff that someday, if he chooses to get married and have children, I'm like, I keep taking these pictures and I'm like, remember that stage? Remember that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of piercings myself, and especially the nose ring. It just looks awful in my estimation. It doesn't matter how fancy it is. To me, it looks like mucus coming out of your nose. You get that reflection and it's the same as like snot essentially. And yeah, I'm just not into that.
I just like, I get it. Everybody like do your own thing. That's cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is like,
sure.
I will, as a PSA, let you know if you're considering doing one and you're self-conscious about your nose, do know that it brings attention, it draws attention to your nose.
Right.
So if you're self-conscious about your nose, it's not going to be like diversion. Instead, it's going to be like a beacon.
Exactly.
So
yeah, and it's the same thing. I'm just to show what an old grump I am with the kids' trends. And I've been this way my whole life, so it's not a matter of my age. It's gauges. I'm also find hard to look at. especially the ones that are really big.
Really
'cause
big.
they just look like napkin rings. And every time I see somebody with the stretched out lobes with the napkin rings, and then I just want to put in like a cutlery serving, and just say, could you hold these for a minute?
Well,
But
that's quite something.
again, not to yuck other people's yum. It's just not my thing.
Well, isn't there a tribe in Africa, I think, maybe the Maasai people, and I'll have
Right.
to look this up, and like they were known, like part of the tribal like beautification was things that essentially look like gauges. And I remember the reason that I know this random thing is because I took a African art history course, and I remember at the time being like, that's got to be heavy, like
Yeah.
and like you take it out and you're gonna have like a hammock for like a little bug or something because like the lobe gets so stretched out.
And there's the tribes that do rings around
Yeah.
their neck to stretch their necks, and a plate in their lip
Yep.
to stretch out their lip. And that's their culture, and I can totally respect that.
Totally.
I'm just saying it's not for me.
I'm with you 100%. It's just all I keep thinking of is like if you eventually decide that you're not a big fan and you've been wearing them for a while, again, it becomes like this saggy like hole. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's something you could do.
No, I mean there's surgery that people get now to repair their ears from the damage that they did with the gauges. That they have to like sew it all back up and hope it kind of put some super glue in there or something
Right.
to get
Then
it to come back
you really
together.
get cauliflower ear because you've got to gather it all up.
And I could just totally see myself like accidentally snagging that on
Oh my gosh.
like a nail or something.
Right. Like, and do you take it out to sleep? I don't know. There's a lot of questions about
yeah.
this. See, I knew that this would be a good thing to talk about. And then the 19th is World Baking Day. So we have talked about baking before on the show. So on World Baking Day, what would you bake? Like, what would the thing be that you would bake?
That's a good question. I've been wanting to make a tea brack for a while. Since
Say what again?
I came across the recipe for a tea brack, and I've been wanting to make it, and I bought all the ingredients, but I've been busy, so I haven't made it. So they've just kind of sat there in
Is it
the
like a
cabinet.
biscuit for a T-Rex?
It's Irish sweetbread that has dried fruit in it, and you soak the dried fruit in tea, in black tea, and then you bake it into a bread, and it's supposed to be really delicious. It's like a
Interesting.
dessert bread, but perfect with tea, of course.
Kind of like hot cross buns, because hot cross buns they have currants and raisins and things in them.
Oh, I guess I don't know what a hot cross bun is. So yeah, maybe.
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure we're gonna have to look this up. See, we learned so much on this program. Interesting. So that's not where I was gonna go with World Baking Day.
It's just like 420 that it's the other pot
No,
holiday,
no,
and
no.
I just interpreted baking wrong.
No, not at all. I'm just like, I love the fact that you're like, let me explore something that I haven't done. And meanwhile, I'm like, gosh, I would like probably make like a chocolate chip cookie or something and like keep it simple because I haven't made cookies in a long while. And so I don't know, maybe that would be my thing.
You know, I looked up hot cross buns, and
Okay.
you're right. They do have raisins or currants in them. So I think the tea brack has a bit more fruit than what a hot cross bun does. But boy,
Okay.
just looking at the picture of these hot cross buns, really,
Yeah, that's
is making me drool.
That's
so-
what a traditional hot cross bun is. And I did learn that if you don't want your fruit to sink in a bread or a cake, you're supposed to dredge it lightly in either sugar or flour so that it stays mixed throughout the bread or the if you're making a cake.
Interesting.
I know.
I'm going to try that. And you know what I found out about currants? Speaking of fun facts, did you know that currants that you bake with are not currants at all? They're just raisins made from champagne grapes, which
Really?
incidentally, they don't
It's
make
not a
champagne from champagne grapes.
I know. It's talk about the thread that you pull until the wheels come off.
It's all lies, people.
Wait, so there are currents,
Absolutely, yeah.
but
you know,
a
there's
dried
like
current
yeah.
is not like what
it's
we
not
buy
a currant. It's a grape.
Oh.
Insane, right?
I feel duped.
So do I.
I wonder why. Like, maybe they're really expensive to dry. Like,
I think that potentially actual currants may be a little too juicy. So even dried out, there's just not that much fruit left.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. All right. Well, the last thing that I wanted to bring up.
That's my theory anyway.
I'm going with it because you're smart and it makes sense. I don't really like them either way. So.
You don't like currants?
I don't really. I don't like dried fruit.
Well, okay. But what about like actual currants? No. Okay.
Nope. I like grapes. They make me gassy.
Okay.
I don't know if that's it's a really weird thing. Like,
yeah.
It took me a while to figure that one out because I'm like, I've never heard of anybody having this reaction.
Well,
to
have
grapes.
you ever had black currant preserves?
I can't say as I have.
Oh, so good.
All right. Well, maybe I'll have to try that. All right. I'm willing to try it. Last day of note, of course, is National Solitaire Day. I'm a big fan of playing solitaire on my phone.
I never could get into that.
I love it. I could sit and I could play it over and over again. I have one app that there's like 16 different versions of a daily game, and I rarely go a day without playing all 16. Of course, I have it set so that it's a winnable deal.
But if you're cheating on solitaire,
isn't that a song?
You're cheating yourself.
She cheated herself at solitaire. Like, there's some song that has a line like that. I can't remember what it is. Pete always sings it to me because he says that I cheat at solitaire. I'm like, no, I'm just stacking the deck.
I think it's cheating, isn't it?
Oh, details. Should we take a quick break here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
When we come back, we've got more to discuss on this edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk.
Don't ask me to talk. Do you get in your own way when it comes to your business? Look, we all get in our own heads sometimes. Maybe you need a new perspective. I'm a creative who connects people with ideas, potential, and most importantly, their people. Whether through my consulting sessions or content creation and design, I help clients get out of their heads and back to business. My client Pete Connolly sums it up best when he said, "I can't think of another professional who brings as wide an offering of insights and resources with as much humor and heart as Stacy does." Connect with me, Stacy Heller, at stacyconnects.com. We're back, and you are listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk with me, Stacy,
and me, Eric.
So, we left off at me cheating at solitaire, and I'm gonna have to look up what the song is. But speaking of singers, so whenever we talk about May birthdays, it seems like the people whose birthdays are listed on these very comprehensive lists are very often singers, songwriters, like Liberace, May 16th. The man, the myth, the legend.
The pianist.
Yeah. Yes. The writer Adrienne Rich, which the only reason that I know who Adrienne Rich is because I read a poem of hers in college. And I liked it so much, I rewrote it in my composition notebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Something about being like a dot that was like melting or something.
So
I was going through my emo stage.
Just for reference, or did you try and submit
No.
her work as yours?
My composition, like, my diary, instead of being like a cute one with like a feather pen, was a black and white marble composition book.
Okay.
And I still have it. And I'll tell you what, that's a podcast right there. Reading the collected musings of a like 18 to 22-year-old young woman going through it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. that's, like I said, that's a whole separate thing.
Well, yeah. And that does remind me, because I know we're not talking about television today because we've done that already. But and we're actually talking relationships.
Yes, we are.
Today, which we'll get into in a few minutes. But I watched the first episode of Euphoria because it's one of those things that
cultural phenomenon.
Yeah. People have been talking about for a while, and I am famously behind
I haven't
the
seen
zeitgeist. So I thought, okay, I'll check this out because I'm looking for a new show to binge. So I watched the first episode of it. And, believe it or not, once upon a time, I was a teenager.
What?
And
Mr. Grumpy Old Man?
That's right. I was a grumpy old man teenager.
Right.
And my teenagehood was very different from this show.
I think everybody's teenagehood is very different.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, because you are definitely more of an outgoing person and probably socialized a lot more than I did. And in this show, they're just they're doing all the drugs and they're having all the sex, and
that was so not me.
That was not anywhere near my teenage experience. So I'm just curious for you if it was that at all.
I definitely so first of all, I went to an all-girls Catholic private school.
Okay, well that'll throw a spanner in the works.
So coming up like across boys was hard enough. Like we had to import them for plays and dances and things. But I was not into drugs at all. Really wasn't even into drinking. I did have a friend who was a drug addict. And so, like, she would hand me all of her drugs and be like, I'm going clean. And I would have this baggie with all kinds of things that I never even, like, looked at. Or I was like, okay. And I would say to my mom, by the way, in my basket at the foot of the bed, there's a thing of drugs. They're Jen's. And she'd be like, okay. I'm like, what parent is like, okay. But anyway, so no, was not doing all of that. And the sex thing, like, no. I mean, I was a late bloomer.
Right.
According to my mother, I was a virgin on my wedding day.
Is that true?
No.
Okay. Fair enough.
But
you were around other folks. Did you think that they were having more of the euphoria experience?
I used to drive I am a very heterosexual person. However, I had a total girl crush on this girl, Nina. She was like the coolest. And I used to drive her occasionally to her boyfriend's house so that they could have sex.
All right.
So I was living vicariously. I was like, oh, you're going to hang out? She was like, yeah, we're totally going to have sex. I was like, oh, cool. Let me know how that goes. Like, what do you say? I was like, oh, wow, people really are doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I believe that people were having sex and people were doing drugs, but this show makes it seem like that's like 85% of the day.
Right? Yeah. I've heard about this, and I'm like, I mean, I suppose it's sort of like that whole, like, I don't know, what was that show that was really big? Gossip Girl.
Right.
Like, who lives that life?
I don't even know what they do on that show. I haven't seen it.
They just had stupid money, and like they were doing all kinds of things too. And it was like, who is living this life? So the people I think that are living that experience are definitely outliers. It's not that I don't think they exist. I think that they're just outliers, and we're all rubbernecking on that experience.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Interesting. And by the way, Mom, if you're listening, surprise! I'm 54. Hopefully she's over it. All right. Any other birthdays worth wishing people a happy birthday?
Oh, Janet Jackson.
Hey, it's
May 16th.
Miss Jackson, if you're nasty.
Right. So Janet Jackson. I think we've already established I'm not particularly nasty.
Okay. That's fine. How about Jimmy Stewart on May 20th? My dad's favorite movie was the movie Harvey. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Harvey.
You saw that?
No, I haven't seen it. I think I've
It's-
only seen It's a Wonderful Life as far as Jimmy Stewart movies goes.
He's just
Juju pedals. Juju pedals.
Exactly.
Is it Zuzu or Juju? Zuzu, I think.
Zuzu.
Yeah.
And then he would say, Mari.
Mary!
Yeah, all that.
You know me, Bert? You know me?
Bert and Ernie, by the way.
Right.
I mean, you have to wonder if Jim Henson was inspired by Bert and Ernie,
Entirely possible.
right? That'd be an interesting thing to look up.
Joe-
Mr.
Joe
T.
Cocker.
Joe Cocker, I saw that.
Yeah.
Mr. T, the gold standard of the 80s. And then what about Morrissey?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Morrissey celebrates, or do you think he likes being like, wah, wah, like Eeyore?
It's hard to say. He has, I used to be such a huge fan, but he has turned into not just a grumpy old man, but
Yeah, like kind of a
jerk.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
Yeah. So, yeah. Raymond Burr, also in May 21st birthday. And he was Perry Mason, of course.
Yeah.
And my mom's brush with celebrity story is that she waited on Raymond Burr when she was a waitress at a diner.
Really?
Yeah. But
That's kind of fun.
yeah. I just wish the story had more to it. It's never like, and
And then he was like,
he ordered
left me a
75
note.
pies or whatever because he loved pie. It was just, and he left me a $100 tip. It was just like, I waited on Raymond Burr. Well,
Right.
that's great, Mom.
I'm like, and that's funny. Hey, I just learned something. I did not know that Hummels, the figurines.
I don't know
They're-
them, but I know of them.
Okay,
Right.
so I mean, yes. They're sort of like Yadros or like the Precious Moments things, but apparently they must have been conceived of or created by Sister Maria Innocentia Hummel. I'm not saying that right, but I didn't know. I mean, it sort of makes sense that a nun created them, but I didn't know that a nun created them. And she was born in 1909. Look at that. Wow.
Nice. And I
Yeah.
see Arthur Conan Doyle.
Yeah, speaking of,
had a birthday May 22nd. Sherlock Holmes. Are you a Sherlock Holmes fan?
I am. I have to say though, I do love like the movies that Robert Downey Jr. has done. Like, the what's his name? Guy Ritchie.
Yeah. Those were fun.
Yes.
To me, being a Sherlock Holmes fan, and it was one of those things like growing up, I didn't care at all. But like one day it just clicked in my brain that I love Sherlock Holmes. It's one of those, I guess you get older, if some people get into trains or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I
that's
got
fair.
into Sherlock Holmes.
All right.
And so I've actually been to 221B Baker Street,
Oh.
the fictional home of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
And they've got a museum, and it's really cool.
That is cool.
So it's like basically they've reconstructed his house from the descriptions in the books and
Okay.
movies and stuff. And you can sit in his drawing room with, with your Watson and get your picture taken.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a
Now-
lot of fun.
Did he like write the books at that address, or did he randomly pick that address?
He basically made up the address because it didn't exist.
Okay, so now it does because
Yeah.
like people are smart. Sort of like when you go to the railway station in London and you can find the Harry Potter track, whatever that. I didn't read any of Harry Potter, but like the track like 9.5 or something. There's like
Okay.
a whole thing that you can go to and get a ticket for that.
Interesting.
I know, right?
Yeah. And you can go to Paddington Station where Paddington Bear was.
Look at
So,
this.
yeah. But what I was going to say about the Guy Ritchie movies, while I did enjoy those, I as a fan of the actual stories and especially the TV series that starred Jeremy Brett
Oh yeah.
as Sherlock Holmes, I
Yep.
think those were done perfectly.
Okay.
The Guy Ritchie versions felt like a different character to me, and I kind of felt like, oh, I wish he'd just come up with a different character, like a kung fu detective or something, because that's not the Sherlock Holmes from the books or
well, because he outwitted with his wits, and Robert Downey Jr.'s character was
he's a cage fighter essentially,
right, much more physical.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was a little bit silly, but I still enjoyed it. So, give me more.
Well, and I think I just have a soft spot for Robert Downey Jr., really, is what it comes down to. And I do like Guy Ritchie movies. I think they're, I like the way he shoots them. So, there. All right. Any other birthdays that you want to shout out? I can tell you that my dad's birthday was May 17th. He's not around anymore, but hey, Dad, thinking of you.
Absolutely.
So there you go.
Well, we got to take a break, and then we got to get into our topic.
Yeah, we do.
So
are you going to talk about
our topic
relationship with Sherlock?
Maybe. I guess in a roundabout way, this whole discussion so far has been about relationships.
I mean, everything is.
I don't know what we're even going to talk about for this last 15 minutes or so, but we'll figure it out.
Totally. I love it. All right. Keep listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk. We'll be right back.
Have you ever considered working with an image consultant or stylist, but were worried about what the experience would be like? If that sounds like you, then Michael Bruce Image Consulting is here to help. They've worked with thousands of people, and many of those individuals have shared their experiences by way of style stories. Go to michaelbruceimageconsulting.com/style stories and check out what their delighted clients have to say about their experiences.
Don't ask me to talk. Welcome back. You are listening to Don't Ask Me to Talk, of course, with me, Stacy Heller.
And me, Eric Ryder.
So, the topic that we picked today was relationships. Now that we're back, we've chosen a wheel of topics that has these broad spectrum of topics, and then with the idea being that we pick something. So the direction,
and we pick these randomly.
Oh yeah,
by the way,
yeah. Like wait for the end of the show, and then it's this really literal wheel thing that is completely random generator. They use it if they're trying to pick a winner for something. I was introduced to it actually in a networking group, and they would randomly pick somebody. So speaking of a fishbowl, it's like a virtual fishbowl.
Yeah, I love it. But sometimes it comes up with stuff that I love to talk about, and sometimes it comes up with stuff that I don't know that I have a thought on. But inevitably, with us talking through stuff, ideas come to mind.
Exactly.
So that'll probably be the case here as we talk about relationships. And specifically, did you have a thought in mind about what that topic would be about when you added it to the list of stuff?
Well, thank you for asking, Eric. So obviously romantic relationships, except that I feel like a really good topic is...
Are they worth it?
Mm-hmm. Again, we don't have enough time for that.
Right.
And you have a significant other, a long term. I have been married for 32 years. And so that just feels like it's a whole broader thing. Relationship with parents, siblings, all those things are bigger. I decided to start, speaking of buddies like Bert and Ernie, the relationship that we have.
Or Sherlock and Holmes, or Sherlock and Watson.
Exactly. Lucy and Ethel, Abbott and Costello. All of these Rhett and
dynamic
Link.
Duos.
Exactly.
Batman and Robin.
I mean, and so I decided to start there because, you and I have our own cadence in relationship, and you have to have that kind of a rapport when you have, these dynamic duos. And some people so Rhett and Link, they have the show Good Mythical Morning, Good Mythical More. They've created a whole mythical brand. They have been friends since second grade or something. And they are in their late 40s, I think. And they did they went to the same college. They were both engineers. They've built up this whole production company, and they've been friends forever. And that really works for them. Bert and Ernie, they're longtime buddies. I mean, they live together.
Right.
They still live together.
From Sesame Street,
from
we're talking
Sesame
about
Street,
rather
right.
than the characters in
Right.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Right. But then you have people that you hear about, like, I don't think that Abbott and Costello got along terribly well.
You know, I don't know much about them, aside from, like, Who's on First, you know?
Right. And the Susquehanna Hat Company, where he was supposed to deliver a whole bunch of hats, and it became this whole thing. Susquehanna! Yeah. Watch that one, folks. It's really funny.
And, you know, the other thing I know about them is essentially they were the inverse of Laurel and Hardy.
Yes. Like, it's the whole Odd Couple thing.
Right.
So then that begs the question of, are all dynamic duos odd couples?
No, I don't think that they are.
I mean, is it like about being complementary to each other?
Yeah.
And, you know, like, it's like, see, what makes a successful relationship?
Right.
Right? Because, you know, like, I think it
To
depends.
me, that's more partnership than relationship, if there's a difference,
Well,
which I think that there might be.
all right.
And
So
just that I think that, like, a partnership is trying to accomplish a goal. Like Batman and Robin, they're fighting crime. You know, Laurel and Hardy, they're trying to make people laugh, and, you know, make movies and, you know,
Right.
stuff. Whereas a relationship is just for those people in the relationship, whether it's a
Interesting.
friendship or whether it's a marriage, or, you know, a boyfriend-girlfriend situation, or, you know, your
Oh.
family.
So it's like a professional partnership versus a personal relationship.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
not all people that have a professional partnership have a personal relationship.
exactly. Yeah. Whereas like Holmes and Watson, they had both. They were both good friends and also, you know, professional detective team, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
What did Watson do? Not to get off topic.
Well, he
but-
was a doctor.
okay.
And he was, you know,
So he brought the
basically,
doctor knowledge
He brought the doctor knowledge
and the sensibility.
and the sensibility,
Okay.
and he kept Holmes in check.
Even phrases like sense and sensibility. Like so many duos out there. Okay. So like the relationship thing with you know, famous partnership, like I'm thinking like Howard Stern and Robin. Is that his sidekick's name?
Yes.
It's like, I don't know what makes some people click though. It's like, I always feel like you're like long-suffering Eric when it comes to me, because I'm always like going off on these random tangents. And so it is that yin and yang though.
Right. Yeah. But we complement each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing with partnerships, and relationships. You need to complement each other for it to be successful.
Yeah, I feel like you don't compliment me enough.
Oh, I'm
Actually, you did tell me that you liked my dress today.
Yeah, you look fabulous.
Thank you. And you always look nice.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so that piece of the relationship thing, so like my whole premise of my podcast, for instance, is about like connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like the whole basis of relationships to me is some kind of a connection. Like you can't have a relationship with somebody if you don't have a connection.
Agreed.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to, let's say a professional, we'll go with a professional partnership. What do you think are the other core things that make a good foundation?
I'd say respect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's incredibly important.
Communication.
Communication. Yep.
Patience.
Right.
Yours for me. Honesty. I mean, it's funny that how like the crossover is so much like
Sure.
really though with like a personal relationship too though. Like, because I also think that you and I have a personal relationship. My mother likes you better than me.
That's just because she doesn't know me as well as she knows you.
Well, I mean, you know, and the other thing that I was thinking about with this topic, so I was thinking about that piece, right? then I was thinking about like relationship with kids. Now, I feel like relationship with parents is like we could do a whole deep dive on this.
Oh, yeah.
We could, like, and we should like a whole episode where we talk about this because like there's not a big enough couch. There's not enough like therapists, like the whole thing. But it's interesting how, then there's the relationship with kids piece. And then I think about the kids relating to each other and how I see that change and how my relationships with my siblings has changed.
Yeah.
Like you can either be really close with your siblings or you can grow apart. And like with
hard not to grow apart unless you like live like within a mile of each other, it seems like.
Right. But I mean, I do feel like some families are super close with like, the siblings are really close. And so it makes me wonder, is that, as you say, proximity of like how close do you live? Is it something that like mom and dad forced where it was like, hey guys, get together? I also wonder, is it sisters? Is it a gender thing?
Well, we know they're doing it for themselves. So
sisters
are doing it for themselves. That was like a Eurythmics.
Yes.
All right. It's interesting. Do you have a close relationship with your siblings?
I mean, I have two brothers. Both are older.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, like, if I needed something from either of them, they'd be there in a hot second.
Right.
But I don't even think I talk to them once a month. But that said, like something's going on and I'm like right there and they're always like my biggest fan and I'm theirs. And, like, do you need me to be on your side in a fight with your kids or your wife? Like, yeah, or whatever it is. But they don't live close by. One's in Minnesota, one's in Jersey City.
With the parent dynamic with siblings too, I wonder, do you have the same like opinion of your parents that your siblings have? And do you have the same perspective on growing up with said parents that they have? Because I feel like me and my sister are very much on the same page when it comes to our shared parent.
Yes. Yeah.
And even though we're not like super close, it's definitely something that we, bond over.
Right.
When we talk about
you can have
stuff.
some tea bread together and spill tea.
Tea Brack.
Tea Brack.
That's right.
Some tea Brack and spill the tea.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's always something that we could just immediately pick back up on.
I think we have definitely that shared experience. However, they would tell you that my experience was different as the youngest.
Right.
My brothers are 5 and 7 years older. And so it's almost like it reset. So I kind of have that like oldest child, only child vibe about me. And also the fact that I'm the only girl. So they're like, oh, honey, like you have no idea. But then, they don't know what it was like to have all of that attention on you. And like they all headed off to like college and whatnot. And I was left with mom and dad without anybody running interference. So, but I think we're generally in agreement and, we have those shared things. But there's things about like my dad, like they tell stories that I don't remember that. And, because I was too young, I wasn't around. So I don't remember dad being like, you left your mitt out and I'm not getting you a new one. Too bad. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like something Eric, grumpy old grandpa, would do.
Well, it's like for me and my sister's 8 years younger than me and lives in a different state. And I feel like we both really like each other, but we don't talk very much, and we don't always see each other like on the holidays and stuff like that. But I think we have like a tremendous amount of respect for each other, but it's just like because she's 8 years younger, there was a huge chunk of her childhood that I wasn't even a part of. And so I feel like we're not as close as we would be if she was, say, a year or two younger than me.
Yeah. It's like being in the trenches together.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
yeah.
I noticed that with my kids because, Annie is 3 years older than Will. And then Will and Grace, yes, I know I named my children after like a sitcom, but that's not
They
what
could
I
have been
named
Bert
them.
and Ernie.
Exactly. But they're only 16 months apart. So like they're really tight. And but the three of them are really close. And then Charlie as the fourth, even though he's only like 20 months after Grace. Yes, I had children very close together. Thank you for noticing.
Irish twins.
Basically. Oh my gosh. It was like, what do you mean I'm pregnant again? Holy cow. Well, once I lost that virginity.
Right.
You can't put the genie back in the bottle. Yeah. So, and I think watching that sibling relationship change and having them all be so close together, they definitely have references that are the same. So, all right. I really feel like we have to unpack, though, the parent one. Let's save that for next time that we hit the relationship wheel.
Yeah. I think it's such a broad topic, relationships. I think going forward, if this comes up again, we have to pick a particular type of relationship.
Yeah, I think so too. All right.
Yeah.
But speaking of picking, shall we pick?
But the marriage all going well?
Thanks for asking.
Now that we have 2 minutes.
Thanks for asking. It is.
Fantastic.
I'm spending way too much time with my significant other, and that I'll tell you what. As a woman in her 50s, you start to have zero time for nonsense. And boy, do relationships change when you've been with somebody for that long. And the goal is to, while it may be happening in parallel because, you're living your own lives, the idea is to occasionally intersect. And I do not mean that as a euphemism. It's like you've got to check in with each other.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's been the one thing that we have done forever is we've had Tuesday night date nights. And so for years since Annie was born, Tuesday nights. So I highly recommend it as a check-in.
Excellent.
Look at me giving relationship advice.
Yeah, make more time for nonsense.
Right. Yeah, what about you? You good with your relationship?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Great. Good.
Can't even tell you how great. Things are just nonstop bliss.
Woo! Yep.
But, it's that time to pick a new topic. So
classic.
Let's go ahead and do that.
I take it. Did we get relationships?
No, but it's also extremely broad.
Okay.
So you being the broad that came up with this list of topics here are going to have to, I think, narrow it down.
All right.
And you don't have to do it now, but before we get to the next episode.
Okay.
When we're talking culture.
Culture.
Yeah.
Okay. I already have an angle. Can you believe
Care
it?
to share?
Well, yeah. So the idea of being like, is the way that people are sharing their art via social media, those kinds of things, and the way that modern music, modern art, all these kinds of things, does that equate to once upon a time what was perceived as culture?
Okay.
I feel like things have changed.
Yeah.
And like people wear jeans to the opera is my point.
Right.
Like things have changed. And so now is culture available to the masses? Like mass market versus hardcover or trade paper?
Definitely stuffed them all over here.
I know. All right. Anyway.
Folks, if you've got thoughts on this, then make sure you text us or email us or, call in and leave a voicemail at iPly99brand.
Translation 475-999-2726.
And we'll be back next week with another edition of Don't Ask Me to Talk.
I fly.